It sounded like, I mean, Adfinem mentioned that Spartan was in the bathroom, so I don't know how much of the weight was them trying to figure out what went wrong. I think a lot of it is just how they played their advantage. The team is disbanding. They've lost one game. I mean, this is the team that's never disbanded despite like everything they've gone through. They were like one of the most consistently tier 2 teams for a long time until they had their big breakout. So I think this is a team that's dealt with losses better than most, and I think a lot of it's just going to look at how they played their advantage. They had a very strong start. They were really dominating the laning stage, the early game. They had a really good laning setup. They had some great first couple rotations using the Nyx and the Queen of Pain, but then things fell apart when they had a bad fight at the bottom lane. They lost Roche and they just lost control. So perhaps going for something a bit less volatile with the draft. I think also the Weaver just maybe not less so as a pick, but even with some of the itemization, like went into the Maelstrom, which didn't do a whole lot. In hindsight, very clearly should have gone for an earlier BKB. So I think some small adjustments in game 1 could have gone very differently for them.
Dark Seer. Radiant team pick.
Such a good play. Where they were showing one mid and that they were showing another one top.
Team pick. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Yep.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
And that's something which, I mean, Fata, with a lot of the teams he's been on, maybe he's never been like the true captain of the team, but he's always been a great shot caller and really good as far as decision making goes. So you look at Team Liquid, even though Kura was there, he was still very heavily involved in that. You look at back in the old Cloud9 days, a lot of that kind of I mean, they played kind of passively. They were waiting for their timing. A lot of that, I think, comes from Fata and his shot calling there. So set his team up to succeed. But here we go, game 2 draft, very different from what we saw in game 1. A couple slightly different bans, most noticeably the Chen, and the Lone Druid slipping through. But this is going to be a Necrophos, a Lone Druid, some of the more kind of flavor heroes at the moment coming into this game 2 draft.
Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Yep.
5 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
adfim's a team who likes to, like, when they find something that works for them, they'll stick with it until it stops working for them. Like we saw at Boston, like they just kept going back towards like the Bounty Hunter for MNT over and over again. That consistently run like the similar heroes for Thug in the mid lane with the OD, as well as the Puck. So they are a team who will stick with what works. And like you say, if it's working for them, why not? And against the Lone Druid, I'd say Necrophos good against the Spirit Bear, but I'm not sure the hero necessarily matches up that greatly against the Ranged Bear. You can, of course, go into the Ghost Shroud and you don't damage, but I'm not sure if... I don't know how you feel about this Necro versus Lone Druid kind of matchup. Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Need seeks assassin.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Sniper.
Radiant
Oh.
team ban.
And this is the Bloodluster sniper too. I saw the Ogre pick. I'm like, okay, they've got to be going some
10
right-click mid
seconds
laner. They're not Bloodlusting a Necrophos. That's pretty pointless. And Ogre is no longer
5
like the must-pick
seconds
support that he once was, as far as for the Ignite harass in the mid lane. So almost always seeing this hero pair that with some kind of
Reserve
right-clicker. And
time.
yeah, the sniper pretty good this game. We mentioned great against the lone druid. Slardar and Nyx like have some gap close when they get their blinks, but I think overall sniper isn't too afraid of those heroes. And looking like a game where, as you kind of mentioned, like if they can hit their timings earlier, and sniper just needs like a Dragonlance treads, maybe throwing a Maelstrom or something in there as well, they can really take the fights to bears before they're ready to hit their timings.
Ten seconds remaining.
Spartan often plays the Ogre for them as well, so this could just be like a safe lane
5
support Ogre
seconds
or whatever,
remaining.
and they still get MNT on something a bit different, more aggressive, maybe with a bit more playmaking capability. So not certain that this Ogre, like they're necessarily looking for a Spartan hero. Could be, I guess, something for
Dire
MNT.
team pick.
Haven't got best initiation. Ooh,
Radiant team pick.
that's interesting. Yep. Yeah.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, they haven't, like, they've got a support 4-position Slardar. This is not like, I assume at least, based on the Nyx being up with it. Jakiro in the 5 role is like a tanky support. He's a bit harder to put pressure onto, but he's not a support that's going to be able to kind of win them the lanes. Lone Druid doesn't do well in the lanes. This is looking like a rough laning stage for Bears, but they managed at least game 1 okay with that. They last pick an Ember Spirit, another meta hero right now, a hero that does match up a bit better against the Sniper, gives them like a guaranteed gap close and some good damage output onto Sniper, and you're looking at very little lockdown and control. No real reliable stuns outside like a Fire Blast. The Smokescreen can be good against the Ember if he gets caught and doesn't have detection around him, but this is all in all a pretty good Ember game.
Yeah, I was about to say, I really like Riki against Ember Spirit. You know, you Sleight of Fist and you lay down the Smoke Cloud and he can't actually the Sleight of Fist and jump out to his Remnant combination. Laning phase is going to be a little bit difficult as well for the Ember Spirit because of this Riki pickup. I feel like in some saw this Ember Spirit
5
coming, and I'm sure many teams would, because Ember Spirit's such a value pick right now. But I think some ways they're the potential Spirit last pick that go the way of. See if it works out
they
for
just,
them, though.
I mean, they know they've got a pretty good laning advantage with Sniper against it as well. And there's not much roaming potential out of the Slardar Jakiro. Slardar, to a small extent, can move around the map, but as long as the Riki is kind of around the mid lane or scouting out the Slardar rotations, I imagine this Sniper should be able to have a bit of an advantage mid against Ember Spirit.
One of the best things about Riki, usually uncontested vision.
Yep.
See, maybe next time do that quite early. TP's out, trying to get some vision of what Bears are up to right now. See where their rotation they plan on doing aggressive. It looks like AD Finem are just going to go for a regular setup here. No aggressive lanes like we saw from last time. And Bears are going to match that. They're just going to have an off-lane Darkseer. I think I'm thinking Lone Druid should be able to deal with the Darkseer Riki pretty well, and Jakiro's quite tanky as well. So I'm not sure if there's going to be too many issues with that lane.
Yeah,
for
this
Bears.
is one of the better heroes, and once you get a couple of levels, then you've got the Savage Roar as well to push them away if they're diving you. So you're perhaps a bit worried about the rotations from like Ogre, but for the most part, you're okay in this lane.
Get it! Get it! Oh, didn't get it. Firo tries to
And
go
took a
for
lot of
the
damage.
extra bounty rune, but just ends up being his bear down to 300 HP, no extra bounty rune gained, and Alec runs it down for a little bit more.
It's not going to shrine his bear, is he? It doesn't seem like the optimal shrine usage in the early game. He may just resummon it. He's got to. Oh, he can send it to base, but he can't recall it until he's level 3. So, we'll see what the plan's going to be. MNT trying to block this pull once again, and will succeed in doing so.
Yeah, he does have a counter ward there for the observer ward that's blocking out. So once he actually sees that it's blocked out and Riki's not in lane, he may be able to fish out that ward. But for now, the lane is going to be a bit problematic. As you can see, Firo is already feeling a lot of pressure, and his bear is not quite yet fully healed.
Yeah, that's a tough ward to spot as well, even though it's like you'd think you could get vision of it from where he's standing. It's the vision around there is very awkward, so won't be able to do so.
Mid lane, Fada is going to have to deal with Spartan, doing ogre things, being a big dumb ogre and just kind of sitting in lane and zoning that melee
top
hero
lane.
back. So Thug's going to be able to get an early advantage. He's in some trouble here. They do have another crush coming in a second here, but it looks like it's only right clicks that are needed. So Spartan
Level 1
leaving
Carapace.
this lane, and GG.
He Carapaced the Death Pulse there. I don't think he was expecting a level 1 Carapace to come out from 4. That was
Something else.
a sick call, and well, that was the I mean, it should be a fine lane for Necrophos. He just got a bit too overconfident. He had a huge creep wave to his advantage, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a Necrophos. I got this magic wand. I've got Tangos. I've got all these stats," and he just slightly outplays himself more than anything.
0 and 343 Adam trying to contest this pull as best they can, get some damage onto Baby next time, but he runs out of the sentry. Will be okay now. While in mid lane, 7-1 for Fada's Ember Spirit, 7-3 already for Thug. So Spartan seeming not to have too much of an impact on this lane. Fada still managed to pick up a decent amount of CS. He's going to return for round 2 with the double damage this time around and a Fire Blast. So they're going to get a lot of damage on Fada. Might even be able to bring him down. Bumps in front, managed to get the chains out, but the right clicks are enough with double damage on Spartan. Manages to pick up mid kill. So may not be first blood, but it is a huge win for Thug.
Yeah, nicely played. It gets Thug a bit of a bigger advantage in this mid lane that he wasn't quite finding with the Ogre. Didn't go for the Ignite, which is perhaps why the CS was a bit more even, but the Fire Blast sets up the kill there. So Thug very happy with how this mid lane's going to go.
He does not have Savage Roar, and he's kind of stuck in the trees here. Tries to juke his way around, but the Ion Shell will burn him down nonetheless. So despite us saying that the Lone Druid should be able to deal with this lane all right, here to be fully the case here. Counter wards in this combination of Darkseer and Riki be too powerful for the Lone Druid.
Yeah, this is a lane that's going to be a big problem for Bears, and they haven't really got an easy solution. Perhaps Slider can try and help it out, but they've kind of decided that pressuring Madara at top is going to be better use of Yapstra's time. I kind of agree with this. You can see Madara's CS is kind of struggling as a result. There's a lot of threat to his life as well. If Yapstra can get a good crush off into a level 2 Impale, that's a good killing combo. Mid lane, Fata going down.
He's going to be run down here. They do have the vision here, and that is going to be the last shrapnel. Maybe Fada can juke his way around the trees, but no, Spartan just stays locked on. He doesn't give a damn about that tower. Just takes it up as a good ogre should, and allows them to be able to go for the tower dive. Another kill onto Fada's Ember Spirit.
That's where he's likely should be asking for it. That's one of those scenarios where like someone should be TPing in, but I imagine that Fim had probably called, hey, no one's going to TP. Like if you get that memo from your side lanes that there's no TPs on like a Slada or a Jakiro, you can go for that kind of aggressive move.
Apsor going for Spartan here. He may be low HP, but he's high armor. And Rush does very little at that tanky support, so not able to find any sort of turnaround kill.
It's Boots and Aquila on Sniper now, very early on, so this lane only gets tougher now for Fata's Ember Spirit. And Slada Yapser is going to perhaps try and stick around a little bit to keep him alive, but he's not going to be able to find kills without any additional help in the lane.
Maybe next time he's actually making a rotation over, and Fada just chose that time to get aggressive on the Thug. Now he's out of position, slowed down by the smoke cloud, and will be beaten to death. All the physical damage coming out from AD Finem. Yet another death. Mid laner of Bears. And Firo hasn't been faring too well against that Darkseer either, so all of these lanes are going quite poorly for Bears, excluding Farev, who managed to find that early kill onto Madara, and is 31-3 when it comes to CS. He is top of the board right now. Quite impressive.
He's going to have a very early level 6, and he's going to probably have a lot of pressure on him to start solving some of these problems in the other lanes. He's farming well. He's going to have the fast 6 with Arcane Boots, but he needs to find kills with that Vendetta elsewhere. He needs to help out his team as much as possible.
You think Fada and Firo are like, help me out when you get level 6?
Top.
No, help me out. Firo, gonna be dove a little bit top lane. Madara, he does manage to get off the Ghost Shroud, so he'll be good now.
Yeah, gets that extra regen as well with the 1, so that'll get him out of there, but he's...
Savage Roar is up, but Skylark was not in range of the Savage Roar, so he's still going to try and run him down with a Surge, try and stay in range with the Ion Shell, need a little bit of luck there to be able to get the Spirit Bear entangle. Firo, he runs out and will manage to get away. No, a Surge comes out. Firo, he may still be dove here. Maybe next time he's got the jump forward and will manage to pick up the kill. Nicely played out by AD Finem.
Yeah, nicely played, bro. That's a solo kill for Ricky. Gives him a good chunk of golden XP. He's level 4.5 all of a sudden. Spartan's like aggressively contesting enemy bounty runes now. Like, he's deep in the enemy side of the jungle. Doesn't seem to give a crap. He's right by a shrine. He could theoretically just get TP'd on here, but he's stealing the centaur. He's like, all right, this seems like a safe thing to do. And realistically, if 2 heroes go and gank him, it's a lot of space for his team, and I don't think he really sees any big threat. He knows Lone Druid wants to keep on farming. Ember's being kind of pushed out of the lane, so everything going well in the early game for AD Finem.
Man, Farev knows how to pressure this Necrophos. I like it. He's picked up a couple of things, right? He's picked up the PMS, pretty natural, but he also went for the Quelling Blade, meaning that he's got a right-click advantage over Necrophos when it comes to CSing. Mid lane, Fada actually managed to provide the turnaround here onto Baby next time. They're going to try and burst him down with the help of the Crush. Managed to get off the Smoke Cloud, but the missed percentage chance is not going to be enough. Rev comes in with his Vendetta. He actually wanted to go for Thug, trying to get all 3 of those kills, but Thug is far enough back, so they turn on Spartan instead, killing the 2 supports who try once again to gank Fada. Fada says, not this time. Led right back to lane thanks to his Spirit. Full health and full map.
Yeah, great little turnaround. They're ready for it. Forev even making his first rotation, getting active, and look for Thug again. He's a bit low, but gets the salve coming in. Phase boots, he's going to be more than okay, and AD Finem may just focus their attention elsewhere, like back towards this bottom lane. A smoked up Ogre Magi. They could look to set up on Firo here. Not sure they even need the Ogre. It may be a safer kill with the Ogre. They may look to wait for Spartan to show up.
And they may need the extra stun inside of the smoke cloud to prevent that ability right there. The Savage Roar. Firo,
they're diving
into trees here. Is going to go into melee form, try and tank himself up with the TPs come in. Maybe next time the rest of his crew back off, knowing they forced TPs. Couldn't get the kill anyway, so good enough for them. Fada picks up an Invis rune. That's got to be quite a relief for him. He knows that he'll have some sort of escape. Maybe next time. In once again. They're still going to go for this
dive. Still going to dive, yeah.
Bear comes out. All right. Spartan's going to be chased away. They're still going to try and TP in as well. This is going to be a long TP. Nyx Assassin cancels it. He says, that is too long of a TP for me to actually be able to do anything. Surge up, jump forward, and manage to catch 2. Fada is going to be able to set up the 2-man crush. They're going to beat down Spartan and manage to catch Skylark with the Ice Path, meaning other 2 for Bears.
That works out great for them. Like, they get the 2 for, and then Nyx even stays at the top lane to continue pressuring Matter. Often see an offlaner there just commit the TP, come in and be like, oh yeah, it worked out well. They got those 2 kills, but he wasn't needed. So he like gets that extra bit of efficiency where he's still top lane, he's still farming halfway to his Blink Dagger. And AD Finem have to start becoming a little bit concerned that their strong laning stage has started to fall apart with some early Bears rotations.
40 mana. Every single time to bounce back that Death Pulse. But the rotation of the Ogre coming in, he actually pops the Vendetta and will use that extra movement speed, it seems, to get himself back to base and safely healed up. Hero is going to feel the pressure once again from Skylark, and maybe next time smoke screen goes out, not really catching anything. Hero does know the ins and out of these trees pretty well. Gives himself a nice little blocking area every single time off the Spirit Bear.
A lot of bears you see not skill up the Druid form until a bit later on, but he's had so many ganks and pressure coming down his way, it's more than made up for the extra HP bonus. And
oh, that is a nicely timed entangle right as Forev came in for the gank, and they're going to be able to catch two. Skylark doesn't have a surge for 5 seconds with the Absor closing in with a crush. It seems no way out for Skylark.
Bears are just moving so well. Like, it's kind of similar story to last game. The lanes go a bit rough for them, but this game even earlier we see bears start making great rotations to salvage a slight disadvantage in the early game, and all of a sudden things are looking a whole lot better for them. They haven't CS well in the lanes. The top 3 CSs are still all on the adfinem side, but they're making up for it by getting these key mid-game kills.
Force Staff, sure enough. Mara, same build. And Force Staff is going to be his first choice. See if that pays out, because they're going to need his impacts, especially with Thug about to go down. Other hero who probably needs a Force Staff of zone into Hurricane Pike is... See, mobility coming out from Bears is going to catch this sniper every single time he pushes a little bit too far forward.
Radiant structures are
Bottom lane tower is going to go down, though, and that's going to be a faster mech for Skylark and pushes Firo off the lane.
It's still like that timing with the Darkseer mech and the Necrophos not looking like it's going to come quite as fast as adfinem would hope for, and could be slowed down even further if Bears can find some kills at this top lane. Spartan has a TP to get out of here, and we'll have to see if adfinem make a play to defend this one or if they're just going to let it go. They've got the money for the 4-star on the Necrophos, but he hasn't been able to complete it. He needs to get to that side shop if he wants to buy it. And without it, he may actually be a sitting duck up here.
Lane is full of monsters right now. Bears. Forev is going to be leading the way here with a Vendetta. Wrap around behind the tower, see if they can get some vision for this dive. Vada's ready to go. He's got triple remnants. And they've got an amplified damage onto Madara. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're actually going for a dive behind the tier 1 tower. Adam is going to be in some serious trouble. He is actually going to be ion shelled while Replica up. Back over to top lane. Forev does make the dive into the tower, but looks like they couldn't actually catch anything. Just Vendetta's on in and Vendetta's on out. Goes for Spartan, actually. Does have a wand up his sleeves there. They're going to be able to catch Madara, who couldn't actually save his ally in time. They're not going to be able to get enough done. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there, but
they survived the tower dive. Like, Ember Spirit aggressively fire remnant in, going for the dive. And is he gonna get some of these kills here with the help of Skylark?
Double ion shell stun, double impale stun as well. Managed to get off the Savage Roar. adfinem can't do anything. They do manage to at least pick up the Slardar, but in the back lines, Thug peppering away at Firo. Not going to be able to get that extra kill, though, as he doesn't have assassinate anymore.
Yeah, that was odd from adfinem, like going back in at top lane after they'd survived the initial aggression. Like the lane ward led to a fire remnant in, and then Necro just popped his Ghost Shroud, healed up with the wand and the Death Pulse, and survived it.
Oh, Vada couldn't quite close that distance with Thug, and that's going to be bad. He instead turns for Spartan. They do manage to get off a really good Ice Path and Liquid Fire. Spartan survives. The Absor gets off the amplified damage, but it looks like Forev. Forev. He actually jumps right in, does manage to get off a really good Spike Carapace. The Sun's out too. There goes a Crush onto 2 as well, but with the mech and the heals, this is the timing we're looking at now for adfinem. The unstoppable sustain and 5-man. Bears may not be able to crack them open anymore.
Yeah. The Knicks having all those levels and Carapace really helping him out and paying off there. They will still lose the tower, can't really defend that at the moment, but all it's going to take is like a Blink Dagger on Yapster and suddenly Bears will be ready to fight.
Spartan, they're thinking about it. Vada's going to jump to the back lines, go for Thug, and manage to get off the Impale and the stun. They actually use the Reaper Sight, though, that blows through the Flame Guard, and Thug is not threatened anymore. He turns and fights. Meanwhile, Spartan, he's going to be taken out by Bears, but they have all these heroes now on the run from Bears. Slowed down, low HP. But it seems like the shrapnel is not enough. If they get to the Shrine high ground, adfinem do not pursue. So they just lose Spartan, get the tower. Ultimately, a trade-off there that won't mean too much either way.
Yeah, Fata finds a rune as well, so he's back in, going aggressive with a bit of extra health as well as an invis, but it doesn't look like he's going to find too much immediately. They group up on the adfinem side around the Shrine, and possible smoke from this. They don't actually have one at the moment, so...
Back, TP away.
Yep.
Adara is just going to give up this whole entire tower, it seems, and instead, adfinem are going to pressure mid.
And they push pretty fast with the Bloodlust, so why not? The Macropire Ice Path trying to delay things. Assuming that Siege Creep goes down, which it will, that'll be a pretty good effort from Adam to at least delay for now. MNT's behind the tower though, so he's got to stay tucked away in these trees. With 4 heroes around, this is a very risky place to be.
Bears are beginning to rotate. Forev, how you doing? A Skylark managed to get off a combination there, but didn't expect so many heroes behind his tower. Quickly gets gone on and brought down with help of the Assassinate. Looks like this mid tower is going to drop without much of a contest here from Bears. They try and rotate, try and do what they can, but ultimately I think Firo, he's not really ready to fight just yet. They don't quite have the Veil on Ember Spirit either, so it seems like adfinem, they are large and in charge for now.
MNT thought he'd maybe found an Ember there, not the case. Yeah, Pharaoh's just trying to split push, keep a couple heroes top, keep adfinem honest so that they can't just kind of group up as 4 or 5, start taking towers and fights, make sure that they have to at least split up and come back to defend somewhat. But as it stands, yeah, Thug has a 4-staff of his own now, almost a complete Dragon. Surprisingly, he's actually held onto a lot of this money. Like, you've got a complete 4-staff, normally you want that on your hero, but hasn't been able to get those items out to him just yet. But adfinem look fairly strong around this item timing of theirs. They're going to have the level 2 Necro ulti soon. They've got the full Hurricane Pike on Sniper, so mobility all across the board for them. And the scouting capabilities of Ricky is where they get especially strong when they're making these aggressive plays, because they get to see what's coming their way. They get to find those pickoffs using that scouting capability.
They've got level 2 Reaper Scythe. Now for the Necrophos, Skylark is going to be building a 4-staff of his own on the Darkseer, and Thug has his Hurricane Pike, so pretty big items, but is it going to be enough for them to turn towards more objectives? They don't really have anything easy to take.
Slider has a Blink Dagger, which is perhaps dangerous if someone gets caught up with this. And that's really how you want to deal with and verse the Necro, is have some kind of hero that can jump on him and burst him down fast before he gets the Ghost Shroud off. Because once he gets that Ghost Shroud off, he pops his wand, he pops his Death Pulse, and suddenly he's healed 400 or 500 HP. And he's surviving through it all. So you've got to be able to get that quick burst on one target.
Seems like this time it's adfinem's turn to play the more conservative style with the lead that they have. They are staying grouped up. They see Fada at the top lane, and they saw maybe Jakiro briefly in the bottom lane, but otherwise it's been kind of dark for them, so they stick together, they push out through the bottom lane, and seems like they knew that Fada had some backup behind him. They're actually going to contest, though. They're going to make sure that their tier 2 stays alive in the top lane rather than trading tier 2 for
Bit of a dangerous TP from Madara, TPing like in alone, but he's pretty hard to kill and initiate on, and had teammates TPing to the shrine as well to the south, so backup was at least somewhat nearby, and more importantly, Bears don't know like who else is there, what's sitting behind him, and they play a bit cautiously themselves. But they are still grouped up here, trying to like test the waters, see what happens. If they see heroes elsewhere on the map, they may actually go for this jump on the Necro.
Aggressive vision being taken down. Maybe next time his ward that was placed down got countered by Adam. Seems to have some damn good senses when it comes to ward vision. They're still going to try and go in Madara here, and there's the initiation. Managed to hit the stun, combo it up. Madara just has no time for the Ghost Shroud, and it wouldn't save him anyway with that double Remnant combination from Fada anyway.
Possible punish coming in, but without Necrophos, this is a tough fight to take, I feel.
Yeah, they have a double damage on Thug. His placement in this team fight is going to be of the utmost importance. He's going to start going for Firo, but Yasuo's already on top of him, and Fada's going to be able to remnant in from behind. Hurricane pikes himself forward as best he can, but 3 heroes in his face trying to play around this smoke cloud as well as the shrapnel, but looks like he's still going to be caught and brought down. They are fighting underneath the wall, though, and that's dangerous position for Bears. Too low. Yasuo and Fada trying to get away, but Fada doesn't have the remnant nor the space to be able to get out. Looks like they do manage to get Yapzor and Forev away, though. They kill the sniper. They lost, basically both lost their most important course. We both lost a mid and their safe lane carry in that engagement.
I mean, that looked like it was going to go really bad for adfinem. The one thing that felt like couldn't happen was Sniper getting jumped on top of that. That happened almost immediately. And then after that, there was like a 3-hero Nyx Impale, but the mech really salvaged the situation. They just had a bit more sustain and HP on their side.
Level 4
Adam at
Ghost
bottom.
Shroud slowing down Adam, enough for Spartan to be able to catch up. A Reaper Scythe to finish him off, and that is 50. Block 32 plus 9. Reaper Scythe, Yapzor, no value bash, so it's going to be a free
Radiant's
escape.
top tower is under attack.
Yep. Not too disastrous. Bit surprised that Matter actually died early at the top lane. I feel like those 4 heroes that ganked him had been missing from the map for such a long time, and it's such like a common place to be. Like, your team's in the Radiant jungle, that means the enemy team's likely in your jungle, so I do feel that was like a pick-off that shouldn't have happened, and did end up kind of turning out alright when they killed the lone druid afterwards, but it's a bit too risky for Matter to be farming there.
Yeah, maybe he overestimated but even that Ghost Shroud is not a good save mechanism for this hero against Ember Spirit and the amount of magic damage burst he can put in towards the remnant damage.
Yeah, Ember's one of the better heroes to have against the Necro, as far as like the mid-game timings go. But right now, Bears are more looking like to recover and play towards the late game. They've gone for the minus on Firo, so he's going to be just trying to catch up on some more levels. I mean, this is a hero that is all about the levels. He's so strong because of his talents, which basically single-handedly why this lone druid is played the way it is, because of how ridiculous most of these talents are. And we'll see Firo just trying to power level himself up as fast as possible to that level 20, really, where you get that minus 50 respawn.
Look at this rotation. Ad Finem, they forced 1 to the top lane, and now they're going to bring 5 down to bottom, but Madara's already been kind of caught. They managed to get the Assassinate onto Yapzor, couldn't quite finish him off. Bears on full retreat now, just hoping to be able to get everyone out of here. Force staff through. Madara just dives right in, managed to get off the Reaper's side and finish off Firo, but can't keep himself alive. A smoke cloud, nicely placed from Maybe Next Time, is bringing 2 quite slow, but they don't have any stuns to actually stop those TPs, so they both get away. Bears, sometimes these situations between these two teams, these team fights, I expect to just be so disastrous, but it actually turns out okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great ward. Like, when you're going up from that low ground to high ground, knowing there's going to be a fight around there, they pop the ward, and that allows them to get the stun off on Slater. Normally, Slater would either stun first or be able to blink and reposition himself, but with the ward, it means Ogre gets the jump on him, but they can't burst him down because Necro himself gets caught out by a stun himself, the Nyx Impale, and then from there, without that Reaper onto the Slater, the fight's a lot tougher for Ad Finem. They end up having to chase after some stuns. The Necro popped his Ghost Shroud a bit. I mean, not that it was like, it was at the right time to kind of go for those kills and slow people down, but it meant he didn't have it to stay alive later on.
Barton. Ooh, still gets hit by the Impale, but he should be okay. Skylark's got his back and still has that mech ready to go. In fact, they're going to try to turn onto Forev as much as they can, but Madara is not close enough. Able to get the big damage done. Maybe Next Time still jumping in. Nice Force Staff. Help it to save Maybe Next Time. They'll give him a little bit of heal, a little bit of touch up. Firo, he's actually face to face with Thug right now with a Hurricane Pike pushing him backwards. What a beautiful Ice Path. Macropie on the left-hand side. That's taking down the supports, but the Ad Finem cores are still up and still fighting. Couldn't quite get Firo, though. Madara, he's going to be slowed down here by the Purge Creep. Knows it, too. Tries to take it out, but Thug at the backlines, he's going to be the one gone on by Fada and Yapzor, leaving the Necrophos as the juicy dessert for Fada and Forev to combo up and bring down Ad Finem, lose 4. A 5th in Skylark will manage to get away, but Bears not dropping a single hero in that engagement.
You see these see these net worths and you think, oh, Ad Finem, they're doing slightly better, but that fight was very awkward, bizarre fight. I mean, a couple in a row. The TP's out in the middle, like 4 heroes at the bottom lane. That one was like a Hurricane Pike where Lone Druid got pushed in the Ancients, and so unfortunate for the Necrophos. The ult was 2 seconds off being up when he was in range of the Lone Druid, so he couldn't Reaper the Lone Druid to finish him off, and then he got purged up by some really nice micro on the Satyr creep from Firo, and then by the time he had Reaper up, there was no one to Reaper, and the rest of the Ad Finem team was just getting eaten alive by that AoE combo, so really well executed team fight, and feels like Bears for a new team are looking like their coordination in these fights is like from an experienced veteran team.
Yeah, they seem to have some really good ideas on strategy as well. Counter ward and ward combination laid down by Spartan is going to spot out a deep observer ward, but probably means that Bears know that he laid down a ward as well, so they'll take all that down. They're letting Yapzor do all the right clicking, so he's the only one showing for now, except for the 2 heroes in lane. Looks like they're going to go for this tier 2 tower, and Ad Finem, we talked about this timing of theirs and how they have the mech, and they were kind of doing it for a small period around that 15-minute marker, but now it's 25 minutes, and after a disastrous team fight, it seems like Bears are the ones in control now.
Yeah, I mean, Sniper's still very farm, but it doesn't really feel like he's packing much of a punch with just the Hurricane Pike until he gets the Maelstrom, so he can have those Bloodlusted... Oh, he's got it now, so he'll have the Bloodlust with the Chain Lightning attack. He will dish out a lot more damage, but it's also a bit dangerous because you're doing that into like a Nyx Carapace, so you've got to be a bit careful about how you approach the fight to make sure you don't get disabled and then initiated on, but... Even so, I imagine adfinem are not going to be happy with what they've accomplished. They've gone for very heavy on the early game items. Like, they have triple 4-star. They've got all this kind of early game focus with their draft, and they haven't been able to really turn it into towers or into successful team fights. Even though they farmed well and gotten like these items up nice and fast, it's been theirs just executing better.
Oh, Forev. I think it was on the edge of that dire scan. Turned red, they popped the dust. Oh, jump in, nice crush into a triple remnant. That's going to blow up 4 heroes. adfinem are going to get dropped here. Unless a vacuum turnaround, Skylark actually gets a decent amount of damage done with Thug getting some huge Mjolnir procs. He tries to fight for Ev and will win that duel too. What the hell? Godz, how is that fight even close?
We'll see if I
reach
like all sniper.
Right, we're good.
How much damage did that sniper do? Just bloodlusted, right-clicking away. There we go. Sniper, 4k damage. His team, not even 1k, you know.
I was like, all right, 4-man crush, 4-man remnant. That's got to be just game over. But somehow Skylark gets off a vacuum, and that sniper just ate them alive for a couple seconds.
Yeah. I mean, the Maelstrom makes such a big difference in your damage output as a sniper. That's like the big game changer in the mid game when you pick that up to go with the Hurricane Pike, and you can really see it there. Made such a massive difference for adfinem, but I mean, at the same time, it was the perfect initiation. They shouldn't have standed a chance to even be competitive in that fight. But Sniper at least made it not a complete team wipe for them, but great initiation from Bears, and well, things are going to be tough for them from here on out. Well, for the adfinem side, that is.
That's for sure. Forev cancels his TP to the bottom lane. He's the one holding the gems. Wants to make sure he is not caught out in that regard. Is going to be building into a Radiance. Have it pretty quick here if they have another team fight like that. Maybe a Roshan attempt. Looks like they're going to smoke out. See if they can find a good team fight. Good enough, and maybe they can pressure that tier 2 mid. Maybe even just a pick could allow them to take Aegis. Jump forward. Madara is going to be the target here. Tries to get the remnants off, but the 4-staff managed to get himself away. Skylark does get stunned up, though, in the back lines. Out of mana here, so he can't actually use the mech. Reaper Scythe goes down, brings down Adam, and that'll help the regen out. Madara tries to heal his allies, and they do finally get up that mech, so adfinem's going to be okay now. Maybe next time manage to get himself away. Thug right in the middle of things, trying to go for Firo. Desperately trying to finish off that lone druid. Ended up bringing him down with the help of Madara, but in the end, it does cost him his life. Now it's just seeing whatever heroes we can grab. Ghost Round slowing down Fada. Yamster is actually going to turn around, get a nice little bash there to finish off Spartan. Well timed, but can they actually finish off the Necrophos? He's going to be able to get a 4-staff back. Maybe next time. Nicely timed smoke screen. That's going to be able to stop the stun of Yapzor, almost finishing him off too. Madara hopes to be able to get him with just a little bit of heartache, and that's it.
He's healing a lot.
Managed to get him a little bit more. Fada running himself down. Has to blink.
Reaper number 2's ready.
Rev. Is he going to be the victim of this next Reaper? Turns around, hits the Impale. There it is. All right, he gives himself the distance now. He will be okay, but adfinem finally striking back in a pretty damn decent team fight, and a big part of that was that Necrophos, aside from all the other team fights, this one was a bit different. We got a very early Reaper Scythe kill.
Yeah, it makes such a big difference when you're playing this hero. It's kind of this weird mechanic where if you don't get a kill on Necrophos in the middle of a team fight, your hero does nowhere near as much as getting one. You get such a kills amount of HP and mana regen out of that first hero kill because of the death pulse bonus, that not getting a kill makes such a big difference as to how tanky you are in a fight. And we see it there. Necro stays alive. He gets that kill later on with the Heartstop aura as well, which gives him another big boost. So big difference for adfinem when Necro is able to fully do what the hero is meant to do.
Maybe next time, bounces back. They do have a Blink Dagger on the Necrophos, so the initiation just got a whole lot stronger for adfinem. Opportunities for that first Reaper Scythe. Even Firo is going to have to play careful around that one. We've seen the way that Sniper has been playing this game. He's been addressing Firo every single time in the team fight. He's just been focusing him down first above all others, and it's kept the Lone Druid out of the engagements for the most part.
Yeah, it feels like Firo's still going to need a few more items to come online. Something talked a bit about during the draft, how this is the timings for AD Finem should come early. It does feel like this is when you'd expect Firo to be a bit more fight ready, but he's gone for the Midas, so he's gone for a bit of a slow build. He's also got pressured. Like, his early game was very rough with the Darkseer Ricky lane, so he's still playing catch up, still looking for that mobility item in the Hurricane Pike. May need like a BKB of his own, may need just to go for some extra stats. But
next time,
Finem
fight up. So what do you think? AD Finem, they won a team fight recently. They've got this Blink Dagger pickup. They've got some good damage. What do you think their next plan is?
And they reach their next big peak around their BKBs. Like when they have BKB on Sniper and Necrophos, they're very hard to fight into. There's such a, I mean, it's all magic damage and there's disables for the Bears team fight outside of the Lone Druid, who isn't even really right-clicking all that hard just yet. So they get very strong with BKBs. The thing is, they're not really that close to them, so they don't want to just sit around trying to farm. They want to try and make another smoke play fairly soon, I imagine. Get a good initiation off. And try and regain some map control, because right now they've got just the one ward around the Roche pit. They've got to be concerned that Bears are going to go for a Roche themselves. This vision around the top to mid area of the map where you see two Radiant Observer wards is just crucial right now. Wouldn't even mind seeing AD Finem pick up a gem of their own to try and contest this map control aspect.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. On Dominator creep and a Bear scouting on AD Finem's movements. Both teams sharing a ward here, though one was placed a lot earlier. Who's going to get the counter ward first? Adam didn't have a branch, it seems, to be able to tango to be able to eat away the ward quickly. So
both teams know Fata doing a good job of just split pushing the bottom lane. He knows that AD Finem have no interest being anywhere near the bottom side of the map. They want to spend their entire time around this top jungle. There's farm there. They want to keep mid pushed out, top pushed out, because those are the lanes. When them pushed out, you help prevent your opponent's roshing and potentially even secure rosh for yourselves. Bottom lane is like a non-concern right now, but Ember's just trying to keep them concerned with it by just threatening to take a free tier 2 tower, by being a bit more efficient with his farm. He's the most farmed tier in the game through some of this play, and now has a Radiance as well, so more magic damage coming in, as well as a mischance that the Sniper has to deal with. A very, very strong item for him to have at this stage of the game.
Kind of a similar story that we talked about for Bears in last game. When they were playing Radiant side, they definitely took that hard left-hand side for the most part. And part of that was the big Roshan kill that they were able to pick up so early. Is Fata going
to solo kill Necro bottom?
I hope not. I'm kind of watching this, but maybe he does. Jesus, so close. Skylark has to come in and throw down the mech.
Saved him. Yeah, actually, without that, he was down to below 250. That was a kill.
I was just kind of watching that. I was like, all right, Fata's just kind of like testing the waters, I'm sure, but I was not expecting him to actually be able to 1v1 that Necrophos. Like,
he could have secured the kill with the aggressive Remnant in, but that's also like you secure the kill, but you probably die if you use the Remnants aggressively. So he makes the safer play, which is almost getting the solo kill regardless. So that is a concern when that's happening at this bottom lane. You can't defend bottom lane with a solo Necro. And I think off of that, Bears are like, yeah, we're actually really strong right now. This Ember Spirit with Radiance, level 21, he now has the 15% cooldown reduction, is very hard to fight into.
Maybe next time.
NT. Too concerned about the cooldown.
Has to make sure that there's some sort of successful initiation. Fata continues to try and buy space, clears a creep wave really aggressively, jumps back. His team goes right back to waiting on Roshan, a sort of rinse and repeat manner that will eventually bring down Rosh. Seems like this is going to be the go. The Aegis is going to go into the hands of Bears here, and AD Finem are not in a position. If anything, Yapzor may have just found himself a kill until BKB gets popped. Yapzor in some trouble. 4 steps away. Nice two-man vacuum into a wall. Thug is just a shooting gallery right now. All the damage onto Fata, trying to finish him off. Maybe next time an assassinate. Fata, 4-step, but it's not enough. They can't get any destroyed, so they will manage to pick up that one kill. Looks like they also managed to get the Lone Druid's Bear as well, but is that going to be enough for AD Finem to really take control of this game? Because they still have an Aegis on Firo.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it changes the state of things too much. It's like I mean, they win that small little clash ever so slightly, but it doesn't change like the current situation, which is Ember Spirit is a huge problem when split pushing. He can do a whole lot of damage to this Necrophos, who's meant to be one of your tankier frontliners, and Lone Druid is starting to become that scary late game Lone Druid. He's now level 20, so has that shorter respawn time, and his damage output is going to start looking pretty scary with this Mjolnir almost completed. So it does feel like that wasn't really quite enough as far as ad finem. That was their 10-second BKB reveal on Thug Sniper, so he didn't really get a whole lot. I mean, he got an Ember kill, that's decent, but they don't win the team fight.
Absor with an Invis rune is currently scouting things out.
Yeah.
But a counter ward laid down just in time.
What
Spartan.
is that?
I don't know. How did he know?
I don't even...
Oh, they caught him. He caught.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
Invis
no,
there,
you're right. Yeah, the tower with that sentry. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm looking at that like, did he just blindly sentry the lane, expecting it to be like to de-ward? But
yeah, I thought
makes
Spartan was
sense.
some sort of spider senses god or something.
Yeah.
All right, ad finem, big pickoff. 60 seconds on the clock for the initiator of Bears. So they're going to try and take an objective off of that. Looks like they may just get a little bit more. Tier 2 and 1. Adam, Reaper's Scythe, he'll survive through that, so no extra time for him. But it's still going to be a Tier 2 down. And Dota just trying to make the best of the base given to him.
Yeah, he's going to try and force this top lane a bit, but the push coming from ad finem is going to be a little bit faster. They don't even have to TP back for an Ember Spirit. So they're going to try and force the high ground, and neither hero actually has buyback here. This is a big concern. There's a high ground observer, so they have vision as well. Which means they have to be worried about that jump. And...
Oh, backing back, but couldn't get the smoke screen into that combination. So ad finem missed out on a prime opportunity. In fact, Madara is going to get dropped here. Oh, that is a huge nuke for Rev, finishing him off with a mana burn there. They're going to turn around. Smoke screen. Firo is a little bit too far. He does have the Aegis, but that first life is going to get burned through so quickly. Jump in onto Thug here. The BKB activated a little bit slow, though. Still takes the brunt of the damage. Fada, though, he doesn't have a remnant left, and maybe next time is going to be able to finish him off. Now Firo still in range form is going to be brought right back into that vacuum. Managed to get off a Savage Roar, but that doesn't give a damn to Thug. He sits in the back and finishes off Firo, and now they're still going to try and force those buybacks, but Ice Frog, you clever devil, you made it so Lone Druid is always up, so ad finem can't actually go for the push.
Well,
he just hit the level 20, so what are you going to do?
No, yeah, you kill him once, you think you've found a big pick, and then suddenly you're like, wait a second, yeah, this isn't... It's almost like one of those things where Lone Druid...
Respawn. Like how absurd is that?
You almost want to stay at level 20 as Lone Druid. Like, getting more levels is almost like, do I really want to get more levels? Until you hit level 25, it's not worth leveling up.
Yeah.
But that was... I mean, again, these very, very weird fights as far as how they break out. Like, the Necro gets bursted down at the start, couldn't get the Ghost Shroud off because of a very well-timed Savage Roar from the Lone Druid, so they're able to burst him down quickly. But ad finem bait them on the high ground. They knew they were chasing, they thought they had a great position, and they made sure that they brought down the Ember. He couldn't quite kill Thug Sniper. Thug Sniper BKB'd on like 250, 300 HP, but that's all he needed because no one else could get on top of him. The Slider was zoned out, the Vacuum Wall prevented anyone else from coming near the Sniper, and Thug played that fight very, very well.
Ultimately, with this new build on Ember Spirit, he becomes a lot more of a lopsided of a hero. He has all magic damage and he's really good split pushing, but he doesn't have the high ground potential, which we've seen time and time again, where he's pushing in these towers, but ad finem just ignore his push at the top lane and just keep going for bottom. And he doesn't have the physical damage to man up against a sniper when he's 250 HP. So you can see very, very clear win and loss scenarios for this Ember Spirit in this new build.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, it looks like he's queued up the BKB next. Wondering if there's any items he can go to try and solve that sniper problem. But outside of getting like armor against him to fight into the BKB, like a Shiva's Guard type build, it doesn't really feel like there's any amazing items that are going to help against the BKB sniper. You've just got to try and outlast it, use your mobility. And I mean, in hindsight, the mistake he makes there is just using all his remnants aggressively. If he has a remnant to escape with, he could potentially survive. And I mean, he doesn't even have to re-engage. He just needs to survive for that to be an okay play for him. Force out the BKB, get out of there. But he thinks he has the kill, uses all his remnants aggressive, and when you don't get that kill, you get punished.
They're going to have MKB, and then we also have the level 25 talent that's coming up for Sniper as well, which is 100 attack range. Pretty good on Sniper. Granted, it's only 50% of Lone Druid's level 10 talent, but yeah. Oh, he's actually switched it up. He
man.
he had an MKB in his inventory, but he's actually going to go Daedalus now.
Okay. I mean, I guess with the BKB, he's like, well, I don't really have to worry about the Radiance mischance, and Daedalus is just straight up more damage, so...
Yeah.
I think Sniper, like, one of the few heroes you actually build Daedalus on. This is such a dead item now that Bloodthorn's in the game for most carries, but Sniper's the one hero that doesn't want to get close to use Bloodthorn. He wants to stay as far back as possible, so... We'll see some single target damage output that is going to be very tough to do. I mean, this Spirit Bearer is just going to melt in the front lines. It helps him out when he actually can get on top of it, when he can actually be right-clicking Firo as well.
And just because you are a Sniper Druid, still really do need your Spirit Bearer quite a bit.
Yapsor and MNT.
Maybe they can get him. Yapsor being brought down, does get a Force Staff and a save there. They managed to bring him pretty low, but it's not quite good enough. Firo, a couple of shots towards Skylark. Fada actually managed to get a decent hold there onto 2, but they're just going to chase down the Spartan on the side and give up the other 4 of Ad Finem on full retreat.
He self-heals as the Reaper went on him, it looked like.
Oh no, they got him.
Caught another.
Skylark. Oh, he's still going to be going down. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Maybe...
It was his own Yule, so it must have been cast like at the exact same time as each other, because, I mean, Reaper stuns you, so theoretically you shouldn't be able to be Reapered and also Yules at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly that was, because he wasn't going to die either way to Reaper's Scythe, but yeah, it did seem like he walked away with less damage than should have happened.
That was a bit odd. I don't, again, like you say, I think it made too much of a difference. Bears set themselves up to take a decent chunk of map control here. There's no Roshan to kind of claim for it, but there is a Necroforce pushed up pretty deep on this bottom lane. And
he's trying to finish up his Scythe of Ice here, but is not going to have a chance to get it, it seems like, as he pops his Ghost Shroud, but the magic damage comes to play. Ad Finem now trying to get maybe next time out of here. Thug, he shows himself, tries to deliver some damage done, manages to get off the ultimate. That Fada actually dies. The Ice Path goes down, catching maybe next time, but it doesn't do anything. They actually collect a gem from that too. Thug, he Force Staffs forward.
Give him the Bloodlust.
Shrapnel Adam, they might just be able to get him as well. A big Daedalus shot brings him low, but Adam does get a Force Staff. And TP's out. Firo is threatening the top lane, so they've got to head back, try and help Skylark deal with this aggressive split push from the Lone Druid.
Yeah, they tried to go chasing, but no chasing in a Savage Roar. But wow, that play. I mean, it feels like Ad Finem, they lose one, and then they're at their strongest when they're like down a man and they're baiting Bears in. It's like they give Bears this false sense of confidence. It's the same thing as bottom lane where died, and then Bears chase, thinking, okay, we've got this Ember Spirit, we've got this great chasing potential between Slaughter, Ember, Nyx Assassin, we've got Blinks, Force Us everywhere, but as soon as they run into that Ricky Smoke Cloud of Snipers there with a BKB, just right-click damage, these heroes are just melting to it. And that was without a Bloodlust too. He didn't get Bloodlust until afterwards.
What I was just talking about this the other day. It seems like Thug has really transformed as a player. Back when he was on, he was a stand-in for Ad Finem, and he was just like one-dimensional Lina spammer. And now, he is oftentimes the one holding the team together. As we've seen in some of these team fights, he's managed to single-handedly turn things around with a hero that is not in the past been thought to be in his repertoire, but yeah, he has definitely expanded that hero pool.
I think it was a big part of Ad Finem's breakout. Like, Boston was not just like that there was this team who'd been consistently sticking together and playing as a team. It was also that players were suddenly like playing like star players. Like Thug has become one of those star mid players, same for Matter and the carry role. And these are players who have, as you kind of mentioned, they've diversified their hero pool. I think they're just straight up playing better. They've had that LAN experience. I mean, this is a team who's gone to a couple different LANs, caused an upset here or there back in like the London Conspiracy days. Maybe just finished last place a few times. So getting that LAN experience has made Thug, Matera, and the whole rest of the team just stronger players, and we're seeing it time and time again.
There's the full-out Mjolnir now for the Sniper in level 25, quickly approaching. So this backline damage dealer with the Scythe completed. And actually, that Mjolnir active, that static charge placed on the Necrophos is going to make things a lot harder, too. Forev, the smoke pops. The Vendetta blinks away, manages to get a two-man stun there from Yapzor on the retreat. They're going to turn and try and get some range damage onto Madara, but a vacuum threatens their life. So he BKBs, turns, and a Ghost Shroud pop from Madara means that it's not going to be enough for them to be able to get that one kill on the side of Bears. adfinem don't really get the smoke initiation they wanted, but considering how Yapzor started that whole entire team fight with the two-man stun, I'm sure adfinem not going to be grumbling. Oh, God, that hurt. Jesus, that mana burn from Forev, bringing Madara quite low. They do manage to get a Savage Roar. Spartan's going to be bounced back, but there's the vacuum combination for maybe next time. They manage to get a smoke screen on top of that, but it isn't going to be enough. Yapzor, he gets off the Yule Scepter. Shrapnel down a little bit more. Assassinate and blink. No, he couldn't get it. He couldn't get the blink out. Now, multicast on Afada. Is he dead too? A stun on the Thug is going to prevent all that damage.
They've only taken a Slaughter down. They can be careful.
Bugs on the front lines here. They need to get him back to where he belongs. Madara's coming back in as well, looks like, off of a fresh shield.
That one blink mana burn that did all that damage prevented Madara from having enough mana to use his ulti.
Uh-oh, Firo.
He blinks in with a Hex.
Top of the Scythe device. Can they get the damage for Reaper's Scythe combination? Doesn't look like it. Nice interruption there from Forev. Nice two-man stun into a triple remnant. Fada gets the damage out onto Thug to finish him off. Spartan goes down as well. That's Gem on the deck. Skylark tries to TP away into the trees. Nicely played by the two of them. Actually managing to make an escape and preventing total disaster for adfinem. But it's still Bears coming out big time on top.
Yeah, the initiation advantage. We're just seeing adfinem. They don't have that clear fight starter. I mean, they're trying to turn the Necroforce into it with the Blink Hex, but anytime he blinks in aggressively, he's immediately getting caught. Like, if he goes on a Slaughter, it's Nyx blink stunning. If he goes on the Nyx, Slaughter comes in, stuns him, and then stun into an Ice Path, into a Searing Chains. There's so much chain disable on the Bears side. It's not really easy for adfinem to start these fights off, and that's where they're really getting beat right now. Bears are just able to kite them around using all this control and lockdown of theirs and make it very difficult for adfinem to secure kills. And the shorter and shorter this sniper's BKB gets, the harder these fights are going to get for adfinem.
You've got the infinite Searing Chains to sell now.
Oh boy.
5-second duration, 5.1 second cooldown. adfinem. That is one of the big dangers of this later game. Spirits, kind of like the Quap, where you hit really hard for that first 20 minutes, and then you're gonna have this little weak point around level 20. But once you get to 25, things get game just changes. And
now he's got the Blade Mail as well. He picks up, so he can replace that out with his bottle. I imagine. There we go. And be an absolute monster in the fights. It is a build that can like fall off if this game drags too much longer. You've got that constant lockdown, but as far as your damage output goes, you're not gonna you're never gonna be able to kind of transition back into like a physical damage Ember Spirit. You're entirely trying to abuse your mobility and the constant from the Searing Chains to dish out damage. So it is hard to kind of transition beyond this, but this is where Bears have reached like a good peak of theirs. Level 25 also on Lone Druid. They've got the Aegis at this time. Shorter cooldown on Savage Roar. They're going to start using Savage Roar as like a disable effectively, where you just throw a Savage Roar from your bear and the Lone Druid himself is just right-clicking those heroes. So very, very hard for adfinem to engage in now.
Other thing is that I think the Blade Mail build on Ember Spirit is a lot weaker against Profosin because that 40%, that 25% spell steal off of Blade Mail, and then the Blade Mail itself, it doesn't do anything against Reaper Scythe if it's actually a fatal blow.
Yep. It'll help a lot against the Sniper, which is I think where he's been having a lot of the problems. I mean, we've seen snipers and Blade Mails a few times before, so that's going to be where Sniper has to be careful. He can't rely on that BKB anymore for survivability when he's hitting the Ember Spirit.
Get him, Shard Golems. Show him what for. Shard Golems trying to take down that last shrine. The rest of Bears will come in as a 5-man crew. That'll be the last outer structure for adfinem.
You know, it's a good Ember game when you're going around as an Ember with like no defensive item. There's no Lincolns, no Manta, no BKB. Like that's really a sign that this game has treated you. He's died 7 times to be fair, but I mean it's a game where he hasn't felt pressured to get those items.
Thug being escorted by Skylark and maybe next time right now in this push in the top lane, but Bears are closing in and closing in fast too. They've got Fada, who's going to rebound the push a little bit. They do have the smoke screen. Maybe they can jump on Fada first. Fada, he's already being jumped on with the smoke screen a little bit more, but Thug, he's going to be jumped on by Yapzor and Forever in the back lines and quickly brought down. Skylark can't do anything to save him here. Looks like he managed to get a vacuum wall onto 4, but there's no damage to really back it up, so Skylark still goes down and maybe next time tries to make his escape deeper into the trees, away from the gem. Fada, who's the one who got jumped on. Yapster is still trying to catch him. Where's the gem? There's Forev. Oh, they didn't quite have it. So close, but successful TP out from MNT.
And they're still holding onto the Aegis. It's now a Butterfly to go with the Aegis. Imagine we'll see perhaps a first attempt on a high ground push coming out from Bears. They've kind of reached that critical mass of items now, it feels like. With the Aegis, the lone druid push, they've still got a decent minute or so on it. They can at least force a sniper buyback out here, it seems. And Nyx is probably, he's going to buy Boots of Travel, so we'll slow down the Aghanim Scepter, but it means they can at least apply some pressure right now while the Sniper Ducks are dead. Perhaps even take a lane of Rax here, given that they've got the Aegis still. Sniper buyback may not be enough to defend.
Yapzor managed to get a jump here onto Spartan. Spartan in some big-time trouble because the amplified damage and all those shots coming in from Firo, but miss percentage and a shrine will help Spartan out, though he's still in trouble. Managed to get caught by a long-range stun coming out. They'll finish him off from range. Maybe next time he's going to be next one up, comboed up with the Ice Path, held in place. It looks like they wanted to be able to keep the Sniper's buyback in place, but losing their 2 supports, it means this next fight is still going to be 3 versus 5.
Yeah, no Bloodlust for the Sniper, just no Ricky period against the Ember Spirit. You really need that Smoke Cloud against the Bear. You want that Smoke Cloud. There's no MKB in play, but this defense is going to be very difficult now.
Fodder jumps in, tries to go for Fodder first. The Ice Path goes out. Reaper's Scythe, it's not quite enough. Brings him down low, but he's still able to fight it out as he turns on to Monera, finishes him off. BKB buyback being used. BKB now down from Thug. He's going to have to play careful around that Blade Mail. Assassinate still on point, but isn't enough to finish off Fada.
Close, but no cigar. That is unfortunate for Thug. He will head his way back to the fountain. They get the one top lane of Rax. They use an Aegis for it, but that's more than acceptable. They may actually just look to go for a killing blow here. If they've got some kind of a smoke, they could just get aggressive again, but it's AdFinem who really have their work cut out for them here. They need to get that big team fight off of the Dark Seer, and this is where they're going to be perhaps at their strongest as a team, which is defending high ground. It much more likely sets them up to get a good vacuum wall off, ideally a vacuum into a smoke screen, but we're just not really seeing them able to get to the backlines. This lone druid is just is completely undealt with in fight 6. Sorry for the Ember Spirit, who now has a Lincoln, so you can't even blink hex him, and this is going to be very, very tough. Too much from here on out for AdFinem.
Checking if there are any defensive wards around. Forev spotting anything. AdFinem are completely in the dark now, trapped inside their base, able to farm whatever comes to them, and awaiting the inevitable push of Bears. Will come before the next Aegis, though. Do you think Bears, should they play it safe? Should they just wait for next Roshan?
I'd like where they're positioned now, just basically camp around this plateau or around the Dire Secret shop, prevent them from leaving their base, and then presents itself, take the pick off, and then force high ground. But without a pick off, I think just brute forcing a high ground is not exactly a good way to approach a fight. AdFinem could get a smoke wraparound on you, so keep AdFinem in their base, and then if they don't come out, give you any pick offs, that's where you say, okay, we'll just wait for the next Roshan, which will be in the next minute and a half to 4 or 5 minutes. Sniper is working on a rapier, so he's queued it up, and I think it's really the only thing that could turn this game around. It's going to be a very tough ask for AdFinem, and this is the kind of play they need to make at this point.
The ultimate crescendo of this game would be seeing another Divine Rapier Blade Mail. How that turns out again. There's already have enough return firepower, it seems, to be able to deal with the Sniper if they can actually take away some of those supports. MKB actually now. Bug changes his mind about the Divine. Doesn't go all in for that one. Still significant damage upgrade, and maybe more importantly, it comes in now, where the Divine Rapier may have been a bit too late.
It does come at the cost of his buyback, but we're kind of at that point where if you're buying back to hold, even if you, let's say, lose a lane of racks but not get megged, like you're slowly losing the game. So you really need to go all out with your items. This will help a bit against the butterfly and also the solar crest on Jakiro. Jakiro as a support's managed to pick. I mean, everyone as a support or core on the Radiant side has items as a result of the Raxes, the team fights being won. Jakiro's got Force Pipe and solar crest. The Slada got items with the Force Staff, the BKB, and the Yules. So there's items across the board you've got to worry about. And adfinem trying to make a move to catch Firo by surprise.
Yeah, they're going to catch Firo. They get the Reaper Sight, but the BKB goes down first. So even if he dies here, he won't have that extra time. Nice double Force Staff forward and a critical Daedalus shot to be able to finish off Firo.
Oh, if they'd gotten that Reaper kill, he did not have buyback there, and it would have been an extra 30 seconds that he was dead. Even so, they've still got 35 seconds to play around and push forward, but Creep Wave's pretty far back, and I think that'll almost put adfinem off. Like, look, he's back so soon. We've only really got one Creep Wave to push with. And they were hoping and praying. Oh, that would have been like the one nice thing that could have gone their way, but instead they'll just have to take their pick off, back off, and I got to imagine that's probably their last smoke for... Oh, they've actually got another smoke, it looks like, so potential to contest Roshan or make another play, but they really need to find some way back into this game.
Wait, do they, or is it just the shop telling you there's still smoke?
It might just be the shop telling me.
Yeah, the shop doesn't tell smoke charges right now.
Okay.
For whatever reason, they took that away from us, so...
Oh, it's not like that's useful information for viewers or
yeah, no,
or anyone.
It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Who knows? Yeah, it's just potentially game-changing item.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I guess if we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on that right-hand side, see if adfinem buy a smoke anytime soon. Because
I'm sure if they had one, I was like surprised when I saw there was. It said like a 1 buy it, and I'm like, what is this? That's the 1 second cooldown on device. I guess I saw, but yeah. Roche, longest possible respawn. I guess that's breathing room for adfinem. These lanes pushed out while Bears are kind of hovered around that Roche pit for the most part. Ember, though, is split pushing again. He's bottom lane with level 2 bots now, so he can TP onto heroes. He never really had problems TPing in because of the Spirit Bear, though, but this makes it even easier and more of a guarantee.
Oh, man, I thought they were going to lay a trap for that Ember Spirit Remnant when maybe next time spotted that out.
But, with the smoke cloud.
Yeah, maybe they'd set up on that one, but maybe for the best, because Bears did provide reinforcements pretty quickly around that area. Madara jumps straight into all these heroes. Oh no, he's going to get bursted down so quickly. He loses his life. No buyback there. Skylark is not finding an initiation at all. Gets off a wall onto Firo, but that's all he can do. They've already lost their sniper too. This looks to be the end of adfinem, as they're going to have to fight this out 4 versus 5, maybe even 3 versus 5, as Skylark's going to be hit. Amplified damage up. With the buyback of the sniper, they will bounce away. They got maybe next time, but they just want to be able to secure Roshan first. They know it has to be coming up quite soon, so they still have time to be able to take this, even at the latest respawn, take the Aegis and go high ground while Necrophos is still down.
Yeah, I wonder if they know the exact timer of Necro's buyback, because it is still down for 50 more seconds. Depending on when he died, if it was in the middle of a chaotic fight, they may just be thinking it's back up by now, so they don't want to risk a high ground push, because I think they could have got another lane of racks here, but by going for Roshan, they do give Necro time to respawn here. Actually, no, they're going down mid. Yeah,
they've changed their minds. They're going high ground. So maybe somebody should check the chat log, figured something out. And
yeah, if you see that 30 seconds with no Necro, 20 seconds now, that's still enough to get perhaps 1 lane of racks.
Skylark to be initiated on. Combo stunned up. Remnants around, but good for staff. Managed to get him away. Still runs through the ice path. Shrine. Somebody save him. He's good.
Oh, Necro has buyback. Couple of seconds.
They still have some time to be able to work around here. They're going to go for the melee racks. Buyback is now up for the Necrophos. Nice initiation from Ferret. Managed to get Thug in the back lines. Comboed up with the Ice Path. They brought him down. 2 minutes down. Madara needs to desperately find a big kill here with the Reaper Sight, but he just can't do it. He's down. adfinem get taken out by Bears in their big debut. 2-0.
This is a really impressive couple of games coming from Bears. I mean, they're playing really well as a team. They're coming back from like a disadvantageous laning stage a couple games in a row. In this game, like they played their advantage well. They kept putting adfinem kind of in a position where they didn't have good vision. They weren't able to find initiation. I think a lot of this game, once it got to a mid game where Bears were slightly ahead, it's very tough for adfinem to play because they don't have any good catch. So going for, like, you smoke up, it's really hard to find pickoffs. They're entirely relying on Necro to blink into start a fight, and Necro blinking into these heroes is such a danger. Without a BKB, you get destroyed by the Nyx Assassin, by a Slaughter Blink Crush to set up an Ice Path. The Mana Burn was doing a ridiculous amount of damage. It's a very tough game for Madara to play the Necrophos, and I think they drafted very well around that core Necro because it really felt like there wasn't a whole lot Necro was able to do this game. The Sniper had some moments where he really shined, but all in all, another great game from Bears.